On the news tonight, Supreme Court reserves judgment in local government autonomy suit. Governor Dapo Abiodun cautions traditional rulers against illegal sale of land. Good evening and welcome to NTA Jabode News at 7. Coming to you live from your heritage station. Thanks for staying tuned with us. I am Olawumi Adeniji, and here are the details. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the suit filed by the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, praying the court to grant local governments in Nigeria full autonomy. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayebe reports that this was after parties in the matter adopted their final written addresses.
We have represented in court. Justice Garba Lawal, leading the 7-man panel of justices, sought a celebrated hearing of the matter, thereby giving an order to parties to file their final written addresses. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, in adopting his address, urged the Supreme Court to grant all the relief sought, which include an order prohibiting state governors from embarking on unilateral, arbitrary, and unlawful dissolution of democratically elected local government officials, an order to withhold the funds meant for local government in such states that unlawfully dissolves democratically elected local government officials through illegal transitional implementation committee. Also, an order to allow the monthly allocation of local governments to be directly paid to them from the Federation account in line with the provisions of the Constitution, as against alleged unlawful joint accounts created by governors. The Attorney General of the Federation urged the justices to go through his submission and grant all the prayers. The 30 states defendants in the matter took turn to adopt processes filed, which include counter affidavits and written addresses as their arguments in the case, in strong opposition to the reliefs being sought by the federal government. They urged the justices of the Apex Court to dismiss the plaintiff's originating summons with substantial cost.
Most of us in all the states of the Federation have contended that that is not the true position. And we have submitted our true positions in respect of all the various states to the court. So we are waiting for the court's own verdict.
The court of Nigeria has no original jurisdiction to entertain this matter on the ground that the relief sought are beneficial to the local governments of Nigeria who are not parties to the matter.
To grant what the AG is seeking, in our own view, though the courts are yet to decide on it, will amount to amendment of the law.
After parties adopted their written addresses, which represent their argument in the matter, the court adjourned the matter for judgment, with date to be communicated to parties. From the Supreme Court, Austin Ayebe, NTA News.
The proposed 2024 supplementary budget will soon be submitted to the Federal Executive Council for approval and subsequent transmission to the National Assembly for passage. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, said this during an engagement with the Senate and House of Representatives Joint Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The proposed 2024 supplementary budget, the minister explains, is for infrastructure development, boosting the CNG transition initiative, and may also accommodate the new national minimum wage being agitated by the organized labor.
Transformational projects, including Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, proposed Sokoto-Badagry Road, completion of all ongoing railway projects for which we have either not provided counterpart funding or funding for rolling stocks, as well as rehabilitation and expansion of dams and irrigation schemes in order to support increase in production within the economy.
Educate us as to how far the government has gone in securing the borrowing that is necessary to sustain and implement the budget. Thank you, sir.
Atiku Bagudu adds that the appropriation will be partially funded with the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, domiciled in the National Sovereign Wealth Investment Authority. The lawmakers, however, suggest that instead of transmitting a fresh budget document, the 2024 budget could be amended to avoid additional processing costs.
If we go for supplementary budget, the amount of requirements are going to be much higher. Because, of course, you cannot do assembly budget without taking the entire political system into account. But when you do an amendment and introduce those elements that you think are necessary and upgrade some projects that are already there, but you maybe increase their funding, and it will be cheaper.
In another development, the Chairman Senate Committee on Local Content, Natasha Akpoti-Oduah, has urged the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG) to comply with provisions of the law by judiciously utilizing the 1% project value of the Train 7 project worth $43 million on human capacity development. At a meeting with representatives of the NLNG and other stakeholders related to the project, Senator Natasha stresses these funds should be utilized with transparency for the benefit of Nigerians.
Was there a proposal or a request from NLNG to bring down that value from $43 million to $10 million? We need more light, and we would appreciate documents.
The committee advised that a framework be established to select public institutions in the country that would benefit from the strategic program to enhance capacity. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives, the Green Chamber in Nigeria's bicameral legislature, prides itself as the People's Parliament. 1 year into the tenure of the 10th House of Representatives, the consensus among lawmakers is that the Green Chamber is maturing and vibrant. National Assembly correspondent Mintere Ikpen tells us how the House fared in the last 1 year.
That as a member of the House of Representatives,
the 10th House of Representatives is perhaps the most diverse assembly, with the highest turnover of more than 70% new members in 25 years of sustained democracy. This posed a major challenge for the Tajuddin Abbas-led House, which had to organize several capacity-building retreats to brush up members on legislative procedures in a bid to enhance the business of lawmaking. About 1 month into its existence, the House constituted standing committees, increasing the number from 109 in the 9th Assembly to 140 to perform the oversight functions of the Green Chamber over other arms of government.
Separation of powers does not mean separation of government. We are one and the same government with sole purpose of providing services to the good people of this nation.
For the first time, sectoral debates were introduced featuring the security chiefs and the economic management team. The aim is to receive briefings from policymakers across key sectors.
We're here not to reprimand, but to understand you better.
This is not an investigative hearing. We are just to interact, to hear from you.
The House also unveiled an 8-point legislative agenda to provide focus on issues that touch the masses.
We've had key engagements on the issues of security sector reforms. We've had on tax reforms. We've had engagements on reforming the Electoral Act. We've had several engagements that are key touch points for Nigerians. But at the same time, I realize that, and I'll be failing if I don't admit the fact that Nigerians really are in a hurry to feel the impact, right? And that sense of urgency is what we continue to demonstrate, the fact that we're not far removed from what it is that Nigerians are going through.
Within 1 year of the 10th Assembly, more than 1,300 bills passed first reading. Less than 100 of the bills have been passed so far, including the Social Investment Program Bill and Students' Loan Access to Higher Education Act, which resonated among Nigerians. More than 100 of the bills are being deliberated upon by relevant House committees, while about 80 other bills were referred to the Committee of the Whole.
The first bill I had to make was that of those of national importance, like accountability of the Federal Character Commission, which has a national coalition on yearning of the people that certain sections are neglected in terms of job allocation.
If you look at the issues of this minimum wage, we talk about it. We said that we have to check and ensure that the remunerations of our workers is reviewed. It has to be reviewed to be commensurate with realities of our economy.
You will notice the body language that devolution of power from the central appears to be the angle. I'm chairman rules and business, so I see many of the propositions that are coming in for constitutional amendment. Many of them have got to do with that devolution of power to the subnationals. And I think that's where we are going.
To expedite the passage of the 2024 budget 1 month after it was laid by President Tinubu, relevant House committees held joint sittings with their Senate counterparts, a practice the legislature says will be sustained. Another novelty in 1 year of the 10th Assembly was a joint sitting on May 29, 2024, with President Tinubu in attendance. In the past, this would only happen during budget presentation.
Continue to collaborate, work together, build our country. We have no other choice.
On this occasion, the reintroduced national anthem was sung for the first time. The completion of the new National Assembly Library recently inaugurated by President Tinubu is considered another plus for the 10th Assembly as a resource center that will further facilitate quality legislation in the country. 1 year gone with so much done. However, Nigerians anticipate the outcome and decision of the House on some crucial investigations by ad hoc committees of the House, such as that on alleged job racketeering in ministries, departments and agencies of government, as well as non-remittance of deductions of worker salaries from the National Housing Fund. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Meanwhile, former lawmakers and public affairs analysts have advised the 10th National Assembly to accelerate constituency projects that will address issues of insecurity, inflation and unemployment in Nigeria. Discussing 1 year of 10th National Assembly on Good Morning Nigeria, the National Assembly was commended for progress made so far. Nkemini Williams asks more.
National Assembly is 1 year in office today, and there have been great expectations by Nigerians on what the legislature will bring to bear. Guests on the program applaud the efforts of the 10th National Assembly in collaborating with the executive for smooth running of the nation. They, however, noted that there is more work to be done.
The budget is a representation of the quality of the engagement of the National Assembly as we go forward. Lastly is to say, we also saw them with the speed of light passing the national anthem bill, which means that there are things they can do speedily and there are things they can do slowly when they want to. So it's a question of juggling. But at individual levels, you see some who have performed very well.
And I think that the legislators are positioned to lead conversation around what are the gaps, but also drive an agenda that brings about change where they implement or where they pass laws. You see, if you ask an average Nigerian what is the legislative agenda, they don't know. An average Nigerian do not know. And I think there is a communication gap between what the legislators at the federal levels are doing and how they're able to communicate this to their various constituents.
And I think they're looking at all the local government autonomy, policing, control of mineral resources, power devolution. All of these areas are being looked at.
The guest on the program noted some areas the 10th National Assembly should pay more attention to, which includes adopting a model with which constituency project will be nominated, electoral reform, and accelerating of bills that address insecurity, food inflation, and unemployment.
A lot are being put in place in the Senate. Whether you talk of tracking of constituency projects, whether you talk of padding, may not have been there, and all the rest of them.
There are laws that are made through sponsoring emotion. And there are direct laws that emanate directly from the executive. And when the law passes to first reading, it is gazetted for second reading. And when the law eventually goes to second reading, which is where opportunities are given to members to debate on the merits and the demerits of the proposed bill, it is now put forward for a public hearing.
The lawmakers on the program assured Nigerians that the 10th Assembly is poised to renew the hope of Nigerians. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
You are still watching NTA Jabode News at 7. We'll be right back after this message.
No problem. Okay, bye.
Today, bad man. Let me call phone call now. Help my ministry.
You know, I be your main guy. Afa now or spot me data now.
Babatunde, my G from under the mother. You know, I first asked since last week. Huh?
What are you guys going to give me first?
Can I have all of my beverages?
Guy, Afa, come now. Make I spoil you with cinema tickets.
You can have my lucky underwear.
Guys, just get on Glow Campus Booster.
Enjoy 100% data bonus on campus with Glow Campus Booster. Dial *312# and flex on campus non-stop.
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow Unlimited.
You are welcome back and thanks for joining us. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has cautioned erring traditional rulers to desist from indiscriminate sale of landed property and illegal mining of natural and mineral resources, assuring that an executive order will soon be pronounced to curtail the acts across the state. The governor sounded a note of warning at the inauguration of the Olu of Ilaro and paramount ruler of Yewa land, Oba Kehinde Olugbenle, as the chairman council of Obas in Ogun State. Government House correspondent Akim Jimo reports.
Who underscores the importance of traditional institution as a custodian of cultural values that provides advisory roles to government, acknowledges the significance of the council to the development of the state. The governor decries the indiscriminate sale of landed properties and illegal mining of natural and mineral resources by traditional rulers and cautioned them against the acts.
Some baales and cabuses connive with others and sign MOUs granting others consent to mine our mineral resources without consulting or seeking approval of government. You will soon be seeing an executive order that I will be signing that will address some of this.
The newly inaugurated chairman of the council, Oba Kehinde Olugbenle, appreciates the governor for the honor done on him, promising to foster unity among members of the council and preserve the rich cultural heritage of the people.
Collaborate with the state government to put an end to the proliferation of illegal bars and baales, which is giving the traditional institution a bad image in Ogun State.
To appeal to Your Excellency to help expedite action on the ratification of the newly processed list of Obas for status upgrade.
The Ogun State Council of Obas meeting holds quarterly in a year, and its leadership is on rotational basis among the paramount rulers of the 4 major sections of Ogun State. In Abeokuta, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
And on that note, we end today's news from your heritage station, NTA Jabode. I am Olawumi Adeniji. Good night.
Talk later, yeah?
Buddy,
how far?
give me small spot, I beg. Make I play game, I beg.
Oh, yeah, now.
Thanks, G. No, if I don't come out.
But they are far now. I got you.
Buddy, I beg, make I connect, I beg. I need to stream. Hey, what's that now?
Enjoy 100% data bonus with Night Data. Dial star 312 hash to enjoy.
Power your relentless ambition with ultra high speed data. Glow Unlimited.